Ray is like that bottle of vintage wine.
If you're a friend of Ray's, you're a friend for life.
Ray is an honest man. He has integrity, believes in people.
Ray has a heart for people. He's very compassionate.
Ray has a stellar reputation. There's not a serious urban planning conference in America that goes on that Ray's name isn't mentioned in.
Ray cares about our city. He cared enough about it to move here.
His passion for Norfolk just shines through in pretty much everything he does.
You know, I was certainly a better mayor because of Ray.
Ray and I met back in the 60s. And one of the first qualities that attracted me was his honesty. If Ray says something, it's the truth.
He's a man of great knowledge, of great honesty, great strength, great understanding.
You know, Ray's sort of a modern genius, and he is able to take a look at what is and what can be, and conceive of how that can all work together.
What Norfolk means to Ray is it's a success project.
A lot of what we see today, you would find that Ray had his imprint, his hand, his finger on it.
Every building of every significance, every redevelopment of every neighborhood that's occurred, every economic development or transit development that's occurred in the last 30 years, Ray has had a hand in improving, designing.
You know, Ray looks at cities and the urban fabric in a way as a jigsaw puzzle, and pieces fit together in certain ways.
He wants people to have a better life, have a better place to live, have a better city.
As you look around this city, every major project, every generational project that we can point to over the past 30 years, from MacArthur Mall to the Slover, to some of our libraries that we've built, even the reimagining of this old city, reimagining Chrysler and Scope Plaza. Ray has already offered some ideas.
It's very important to him how development meets the street. The skyscrapers, they lift your spirit, but the heart, the city works at the street level. And Ray would remind us of that all the time.
Ray's approach recognizes that cities are organic and that they grow and they evolve and they change over time. And Ray's approach incorporates all that and understands that in order to survive, a city has to grow and it has to evolve and it has to get better.
He began the habit of creating 10-year plans. I mean, that's very ambitious to say this is what the next 10 years is going to look like. It doesn't always have to happen this way, but this is, if somebody wants to come in here and talk about coming to work here, they could look at this plan and they would say to themselves, well, this is a city that has some idea where it's going, knows what it's doing, and has got good planning, and so that was an advantage for us.
Norfolk, I think, is a beautifully restored city. Ray Gindroz had a lot to do with that restoration.
At his heart, of course, Ray is a preservationist. He loves old buildings. He understands the need for new, but he really loves old buildings, and so he saved a lot of buildings here as well.
To a great extent, downtown Norfolk is proof of what Ray has brought to our city.
People tell me that Ray can explain anything.
Ray has his way of explaining, and also he has a way of getting you to understand the bigger picture, the full picture.
He has seemingly a limitless depth of patience to be able to explain the why about things and how things fit together.
Even people who have sort of pedestrian backgrounds and this stuff like me, he never talked down to me. He always gave me his best advice. We felt like we were partners.
I went to Ray about revisiting the St. Paul's Quadrant area. Ray said, well, I do have some some information because I've worked on this over the past 17, 18 years. And as we move forward in looking at a master developer, Ray will be right there to ensure that we have the best minds and the best practices, and having the experience of Ray Gindroz being at the table is invaluable.
He is so proud of Norfolk and so happy that they have been responsive to his ideas.
And of course, I think if you asked Ray, he'd say he's most proud about his contributions to the quality of the living conditions in some of our public housing.
Ray Gindroz is a man who understands the need of the human heart, what the body has to have in order to function properly, the kind of housing they need to live in, the kind of city they need to live in, the streets, the buildings.
And Norfolk is really, really fortunate to have had Ray.
We're just so much better place to live and to work because of Ray, and we just are very grateful for him.
What a gift to this community to have someone who is willing to share his life, his experience, his work with so many. So we are truly blessed to have the likes of Ray Gindroz as a citizen of Norfolk.